Hello everyone, Professor Gurung here. I hope you're doing fine and this would be our step 7. Okay, so in our previous step, um, when we exit our text editor which is kilo, our terminal just hangs. I mean, since the echo command is disabled, so it's not re-echoing the whatever we type in the command line. Fine. So let's just check it out once and yep, there's nothing there. Fine. And yeah, so q and so I type in clear and see it clears, but it actually doesn't re-echo our output in the terminal. So I now type in reset. Okay, cool. Our terminal is now reset, so it will work normally now. So now in our step 7, what we gonna do is okay, that's the minute. Okay, we're working on step 6. Yeah, fine. Now we need to disable raw mode at exit. That means whatever just happened, like you saw back, that our text editor, I mean our terminal is not re-echoing our the things which we type. Okay, I mean our key presses. Fine. So we'll be looking at that and on how to get it back after we exit kilo. Let's be nice to the user and restore their terminal's original attributes when our program exits. We'll save a copy of the termio struct in its original state and use tc set attribute to apply it to the terminal when the program exits. Fine. So all these yellow lines which are highlighted, it needs to be added in our kilo.c, and then we'll read the Curia head. Fine. Okay. Hash include stdlib dot h, which is standard library dot h, and then we have struct termios original termio. Okay, and then we have our function which doesn't return anything since it's void, and then its name is disable raw mode, and yeah, so tc set attribute standard input no tc s a flush and ampersand org terminus. Fine. Now what I'm assuming is that whenever we run this, so this will be setting okay, so our tc set attribute will take in any other input which is remaining from our terminal, from the standard input, and then it will flush it if it's not being used, and then it will apply the original termios original termios attributes, terminal attributes. Fine. So still we'll look at the theory. I mean, it's fine to get. Okay, there are a couple of things which needs to be changed here. Cool. Tc get attribute standard input fine no and then ampersand org termios. Okay, then at exit we have disable raw mode, and yeah, struct termios raw is equal to our original terminus first. Fine, so we are initializing as well. Then we have, okay, we can remove this, right? And yeah, this works. There is no change in int main, and yeah, that's it. Let's save it and read our theory. So at exit comes from stdlib.h, which is standard library. We use it to register our disable raw mode function to be called automatically when the program exits, whether it exits by returning from main, that means int main at when we have return 0. So it can either like this at exit function having the attribute in it which is disable raw mode. This can run either if there's int main and it returns 0, or else it can run by calling the exit function. Fine. This way we can ensure we leave the terminal attributes the way we found them when our program exits. So that's fine. We store the original terminal attributes in a global variable. That's why this has been declared outside any of the functions or even int main. Okay, and we assign the original terminal struct to the raw struct in order to make a copy of it before we start making our changes. You may notice that leftover input is no longer okay. That can be only seen once we compile and run our kilo. Cool. So it's compiled, and let's just see ASD Q. Okay, so it exits, and let's press ls. Okay, so it's back. Cool. Our terminal doesn't hang or like the whatever, like the key presses we type, it's back. Fine. So that's a good thing. You may notice that the leftover input is no longer fed into your shell after the program quits. This is because of the tcsa flash option being passed to the tcset attribute when the program exits. It describes any unread input before applying changes to the terminal. This doesn't SigeWin is for Windows. So if you're using Windows to build this, then this is for you. So let's just check it out. Okay, let's type ASDQ hello. Hello. Cool. So it doesn't actually execute our command after we press Q. Okay, that means I typed in ASDQ. Okay, I typed in ASDQ hello. Okay, so by our theory like in the previous steps, it should have executed at least hello. Okay, like if you remember, I typed in ASDQCLEAR like in some step. I don't even remember now. And yeah, so at that time CLEAR executed because it's a valid command in our bash shell. Okay, and this time it didn't. Let's just check in with ASDQCLEAR, and yeah, that didn't clear our terminal output, so that's fine. So that is what our set attribute function will do, that if you give anything after our Q, which is the exit, which will make our program exit, this it will not process our input, and that's true. Cool. So we looked at it, and let's move into step 7. There is an ICANON flag. Let's read that as ICANON. That allows us to turn off canonical mode. This means that we will finally be reading input byte by byte instead of line by line. Okay. And cool. Sounds good. Let me just open my notes. Wait, why is this new file? Okay, cool. So we have this, and we'll just look at this. We're keeping the original manual. At exit registers a function to be called at a normal process termination. That's fine. Void function and void. Okay. And the at exit function registers the given function to be called at a normal process termination, either via exit or via return from the program's main, and that's what our theory here also said. This. Okay, cool. Now we come to step 7, and from man PC get attribute there is a line which tells about iCanon flag, one of the constraints in the CL flag. The setting of the iCanon flag in CL flag determines whether the terminal is operating in canonical mode, iCanon set, or non-canonical mode, iCanon unset. By default, iCanon is set. So iCanon enables canonical mode. With this, what this flag does is that it allows us to turn off canonical mode, which means we will be reading input byte by byte instead of line by line. That's good. Thanks to this step, the program will quit as soon as we press Q. Now this is something to look forward to. All we need to do is change R19 here, with kilo.c, and yeah, this is the line which needs to be appended. ICANON. Cool. So let's first build kilo and run it. ASDHELLOQ. Oh, cool. So this works. So whenever you type anything, like literally anything, like HELLO and then Q, so when I press Q it just exited, which is pretty cool. I still can't see any any key presses which I am pressing, so that's fine. iCanon comes from terminus.h, so that's why we didn't have to put anything, because our header file terminus.h is already there. Input flags, the ones found in ICI flag, which is the input flag, it generally starts with I, like iCanon does. However, iCanon is not an input flag, it's a local flag. That's why it's in ICL flag, where L stands for local. So that's confusing. Yeah, so that's why it's in it's in CL flag. Okay. Now the program will quit as soon as you press Q. Fine, that's fine. We'll stop here, and in the next video we'll be getting on with the step 8, and let's move it forward. So that's it for this video. InfoSec Gurung here. Hope you have a good day or a night ahead. Take care.